Abdul Aziz, based on which hadith? You did say just now, what? So on the day of judgment, Allah will look at the salah of somebody, right? And Allah will ask the angels, how was his obligatory prayers? And the angels would answer, he did some and he missed some. And then Allah asks about what about the sunnah prayers? And the angel says he did some. And then what did Allah say? To patch up the missing obligatory prayers with the sunnah prayers. So on that basis, it is important that we try to do the sunnah prayers as much as possible, inshallah, yeah, in order for all of us to be able to be patched up of our obligatory prayers. Remember, the first question that we're going to be asked on the day of judgment will be our salah. It's not about how nice you are, whether you're driving a Ferrari, whether you have 9 children, you have 4 wives. It's all, Aiman, correct? It's all, it's all about the obligatory, or also your prayers in general. And that's why we do need to, well, supplement our obligatory prayers that may not be perfect, yeah, with more of the sunnah prayers, yeah. So, and this is where, for example, for a revert, forgive me for saying this, right, in general, right? And I know some of the Asian mosques are praying about, how many, 18 sunnah prayers or whatever after the Isha prayer, for example. 2 and 2, how many prayers? It's quite a lot. I don't know how many, right? It's quite a lot. And especially for reverse, they're quite difficult for them to follow, right? So we're going to make it even more simplified, inshallah, by dividing the sunnah prayers into the mu'akkada, which means emphasized, and the ghayra mu'akkada, which is less emphasized. Yeah. But before that, always remember, whenever we do any good deeds, what is the most important thing that it must be achieved? Yeah, so the deeds must be accepted by Allah. Agreed? If not, what you do will be such a waste of time. And worst thing, if you do things without any evidence, what happened? Yes, you will consider as a person who innovates or bid'ah, which means that you may not drink from the fount of Al-Kawthar, according to authentic hadith. And secondly, hellfire. Yeah, kullu nafsin, kullu bid'atin dalalah wa kullu dalalatin finnar. Every innovation is in a misguidance, and every misguidance will lead us to hellfire. So these are basic principles that any of the sunnah or acts of worship that we do, there must be, as the brother said, intention. Secondly, evidence from the Quran and authentic hadith. So let us begin with this first, right? Because in my culture, for example, right, some people are praying this prayer called prayer of Salatul Hajat. Salatul Hajat. That means there is an intention for them to do certain things. I don't know, and they just do this. Everything they do. What do you pray? Oh, I'm praying Salatul Hajat. Yeah. So this hadith has completely no basis in the Quran or hadith. So you have to be careful, right? Another salah that it has no basis is called Salatul Tasbih. You heard about this? It's quite complicated. I think you have to do once in your life. You heard about this, Abdullah? Who heard about this? Right? It's quite complicated. There's a few things that you need to do, right? Because if a sunnah prayer is so important, even though it is ghara mu'aqadat, less stress, it should be quite clear in terms of the practicing of the Prophet Muhammad's practices. Yeah. So these are the things. Okay, the next thing, okay, do forgive me for saying this, right? Because majority people are doing this. For Jumu'ah prayer, right? When the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ would attend a Jumu'ah prayer, before even the khutbah started, what would he do? When you attend the mosque, enter the mosque, what would he do? Tahiyatul Masjid, full stop, right? There wasn't any evidence that he did any other prayers other than Tahiyatul Masjid. Yeah. However, today in many mosques, when they usually most mosques have two adhan, right? It started from Sayyidina Uthman radhiyallahu anhu. That's why it started, because people are getting more and more Muslims, right? They need to call the people to the mosque first, and then that's why they would have two adhan. Yeah. So this would be when you see after the first adhan, a lot of people will stand up and they will do the sunnah prayers, right? The question is that, is there any evidence regarding this? Because Jumu'ah prayers is different from the whole prayer. That's where the confusion starts, right? So if many scholars have discussed regarding this, right? So if you want to do any sunnah prayers besides this title masjid, you can, but it's not restricted to after the adhan, right? Because now it's after Asar, I can't do any sunnah prayers just for what I want, for the sake of sunnah prayers, isn't it? Because this is a forbidden time for sunnah prayers, yeah. But in the if I want to do, for example, okay, well, I came in, for example, half an hour before the first adhan, right? After the two title masjid, I can still do other sunnah prayers as and when I wish, right? But if many people, as you know, after the first adhan, they will stand up and do the sunnah prayers as if it was a sunnah prayer of the Dhuhr. That is not allowed, because Prophet Muhammad has never done this before, right? So do take note of this, right? Because it doesn't mean that everybody is doing it, doesn't mean it's a correct thing. Yeah? Questions?
Yes, sir. So,
yes.
You said that when you come to the masjid in Jummah, you pray your prayer.
Yes.
Like you say, when the adhan is on stand,
yes.
People pray two rakats.
Yes. Yes.
So it's not like something prohibited, isn't it?
That is not in any examples of the companions and Prophet Muhammad. But I did say, right, if I have time, even before the first adhan came, I can just do another two sunnah prayers, another two and two until the adhan came. That is different. Because as you know, a lot of people, when they do this sunnah prayers after the first adhan, it literally means that they are following the Dhuhr prayer. Is it true?
That's right.
Right? Which is, as I said, Jum'ah and the Dhuhr is completely different. Right? So that is why, for example, right, in general, right, when we go overseas, right, should we shorten the prayers? Yes, it's sunnah, right? Can we combine the prayers? You can. It's not a sunnah, but you can do it. However, for Jumu'ah, you cannot do this. But Jumu'ah is not a Dhuhr. Yes, it's by itself. Right? So Jumu'ah prayer is different from the whole prayer. Yep. So if you are in Manchester, for example, if you do the Jumu'ah prayer on its own, yes, but you cannot after that do Asar prayer immediately. So you cannot combine. Yeah.
Two questions there. So the first one being, after the adhan, is it still going to be the two sunnah for between the adhan and the Iqamah?
No. That is that is the essence of what we discussed now.
That is specifically for the
Yeah. So the whole.
Okay.
Right.
And then the second one is, say when you go traveling, if you're a traveler, you have to pay the Jummah.
No, if you're a traveler, good question. Yep, Jum'ah becomes optional. Right, we know that Prophet Muhammad did not do the Jum'ah prayer, but then you need to do the Dhuhr prayer. Okay, so it becomes optional. Go. Yes. Okay. Any other questions? Yes, Abdullah.
Yeah, so for some of the masjids, what they do is while they do the khutbah or Jummah, and they at the middle is like after the second adhan, I think they stop, they pray four sunnahs,
Yes.
and then they carry on. Is that in any of the madhahib?
What do you think?
I think that's correct.
That's incorrect or correct?
Incorrect.
Yes, this is incorrect. Right? Because the surely, right, brothers, if intimate details of the Sunnah, including those of you are married, you would know, right? Even when you have intimacies with your wife, there is a dua, isn't it true? Even when you are at your own looking at the mirror, there's a dua, isn't it true? You don't say, oh, you're so beautiful, right? But Aiman, there is a special dua, isn't it true, right? That you say when you are looking at the mirror, right? That intimate details. Even when you go to toilet, there's a dua, right? How about Jumu'ah itself? Surely there must be examples clear examples that will be given, yeah. But we don't find examples, and this you're right in the sense that I've been to a few Asian mosques who are doing this. Everybody's standing up, right? So if you're not standing up, people will look at you like you are some deviant, you don't know about the Sunnah and all this, but let it be, right? Brothers, on the day of judgment, are these people going to defend us? No, we're going to face Allah on His own. Agreed? Yeah. So do be careful with this. Yes, Brother Muhammad. Yes.
I think whoever is listening from the other brother.
Yeah, inshallah. Yes. Yes.
That's why I was telling Yusuf earlier that.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. But you and I know, Brother Muhammad, that some people are very political, isn't it true? Right? In terms
No,
of,
I mean, this is
yeah.
related to Sunnah. I mean,
Yeah.
This isn't something that our that
Yes. Yes.
then why
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
are they doing it?
Yeah. But do you yourself, you agree what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up in Saudi Arabia, and over there we don't do these.
Oh yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah.
I know the Afghans, South Asians,
Yes.
including the Turks,
Yes.
all do it. They pray 10 rakats, Sheikh.
Yes.
So they pray
Yeah.
the Salat al
Yes.
and then they pray 10 rakats.
Yes.
The way they pray
Yes.
also.
Yeah. Yeah. So there is this, I hate to say this, right? Without even my side of the world, we are Shafi'i madhab, right? There is a lot of dilution in the so-called taqlid, which means blind following, right? Because just because a famous person is doing this, everybody's follow without any evidence, right? My culture, for example, for the Fajr prayer, what do? There always is this kuno dua. Every Fajr prayer is a kuno dua. So we do not know where they got this hadith from, but they just do it. Then when it comes to performing the Umrah, they didn't do it at all, then they just give it, oh, this is different, this way, Makkah Medina is different. How can it be different? Fajr is Fajr, right? You need to stick to your guns. I think for me it is. No, Qunut dua is specifically for witr, isn't it true? Right? Even for witr, it's not obligatory you do it all the time. That means even at times you don't do the Qunut dua, it doesn't invalidate your witr. Yeah. With Qunut dua is also specifically for things that are happening that you want Allah to help, isn't it true? Like you had earthquakes, there's a war, want Allah ask.
People back home or certain masjid, but they don't read it.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So again, you always look. You see, okay, this is what I said, right? Right at the beginning of the talk. What did I say, brothers, when we talked about when Allah wanted to put Adam and his wife out of paradise? What did Allah say? Which surah is this? Yes, verse number? Baqarah. No. Verse number 38. Qulna bitu minha jami'a fa imma ya'tiyannakum minni hudan faman tabi'a hudaya fala khawfun 'alaihim wa lahum yahzanun. Get down, both of you, all of you from this place. But then there will come to you my guidance. Whose guidance? Allah's guidance. Not from this shuyukh, that shuyukh and all this, but from Allah. And whoever follows my guidance, again, repeat it twice, my guidance, Allah's guidance, then on them she will not grieve and nor shall be fearful. And this is important that we follow guidance through the Quran and authentic hadith. Surely, Right? We are humans. We may make mistakes. I myself, when I first taught and all this, there are things in which it has been so used to practice in my culture that I brought it into the deen and I realized that was wrong. I changed myself so many times. And we must admit it, because at the end of the day, we don't have Prophet Muhammad SAW now. How I wish he was here that we can just WhatsApp him, right? Oh, Messenger of Allah, is this okay? Is this Sunnah? Is this a bid'ah? Right? But he's not here. So we just need to do as best as we can according to the evidence that we have. Yeah? Abdullah, your question?
Yeah, so
Right. So it is important that we just, Islam is very simple, agreed? We just stick to the Quran and authentic hadith, right? Doesn't matter if everybody is doing it, but if there's no evidence, there's no evidence. Yep. So before we even talk to the basic part of the Sunnah, we just need to establish this fact that for a Sunnah to be accepted by Allah, you said yourself, there must be an intention and there must be evidence, agreed? If there's no evidence, why should we do it? Right? So very important to, inshallah, to stick to what we have been informed through the Quran and through authentic hadith, inshallah. Any questions before we move forward? Yes. This is a hot topic, yeah? A lot of people are discussing this. Yes.
My brother was asking me, let's say you missed the Jummah for Asr, right? And then
You missed the what, sir? Do you mean the congregation? Yes.
If you walk into the masjid, should you pray Tayyat al-Masjid first and then the Asr? Or
So you missed the congregation?
yeah, let's just say you just walked in.
Yeah.
It's time for Asr, congregation.
So you've done it, isn't it true?
Yeah, and you just walked in, you pray Tayyat al-Masjid first and then Asr?
It depends. Why do you say it depends? Because if there is a second congregation is ongoing
Yeah,
after
say
that,
no congregation.
yes.
So like everyone's done.
If there is time, yes, I would do it.
Tayyat al-Masjid.
Yes, because Tayyat al-Masjid is a stress sunnah. It's a sunnah mu'akkadah. What is it? Why is it sunnah mu'akkadah?
I've done it every single time.
No, not only that, because of the context of the hadith.
One time I think it was
So,
Jummah,
yes,
and someone came in and sat down,
yes,
and he stopped the khutbah and
Yes.
told the person,
yes. He stopped the whole khutbah so that everybody knows the importance of the title masjid. Yeah, and therefore it becomes a mu'akkadah. Yeah, it is wrong. I know. I won't mention which scholars, and this is a very famous scholar who said that anybody who was asked is not mu'akkadah if we don't, if the title masjid, if we don't do it, is a sin, and this person says it's a sin, but it's a sunnah prayers, right? So I think there is a misjudgment on that part. Yeah, sunnah is a sunnah as it is. Yeah. Now, so these are the things that for me personally, right, we should emphasize, right, that we must have evidence of following the specific sunnah prayers. Yeah. So for sunnah prayers, what is the most important part? So let's discuss about the fard prayer first, right? It is important, and I've said many times, especially for those who have just either become a Muslim or just started to practice Islam, to focus only on the fard prayers, right? So we had this Vietnamese brother, right? Brother Fu, he came here before, right? And he took Shahada about 1 or 2 weeks ago. And his Pakistani friends was telling him, oh, you must do this, must do Sunnah prayers, must do this. I said, no need. You don't even know how to see Al-Fatiha well. How can you do your Sunnah prayers? Agreed? It must do your Fard prayers first, right? Whatever things that he can do, right? Do it once a day and increase it twice a day. Yeah. What did Allah say? La yukallifullahu nafsan illa wus'aha. Yeah. That Allah will not judge a person beyond your scope. Yeah. So brothers, if you are doing da'wah, right, and if you know somebody has just, alhamdulillah, did the hijrah of his life, becoming practicing Islam, Muslim, right, you should be more gentle to him. Is it true? You cannot just say, okay, tomorrow we must pray 5 times a day. No. Of course, all of us, we should or we must pray 5 times a day. But for everybody, it's different because you would only put in a burden onto him when you force him to do 5 times, in which he hardly can, as I said, recite any Al-Fatiha. If any one of us are not reciting Al-Fatiha, what is the outcome regarding this? What is the ruling? The prayer is not accepted, isn't it true? Right? It's a pillar of salah, right? So very important that we understand this. Yes, Abdullah. Yes, or the people who just become practicing. Yes.
Do they not have that? They consider
Yes, according to some people, yeah. But I would rather do this, right? I would rather them hold their books or hold their mobile phones and pray like that. At least they are able to recite something, inshallah, only for a certain period of time. Yeah? Yes. Yes.
So let's say Jeff is reading
Loud, yes. Yes.
Should he still read it or should he stay quiet?
You know, there's two opinions regarding this, isn't it true? Right? Some people say you keep quiet, but in order for me personally, I want to be ensured that I have done my own Al-Fatiha, right? So you can either do at the same time as the Imam, or when the Imam says Wallah Tawlin Ameen, then after that you will recite Al-Fatiha. Yeah, so I would do that. However, what is the hadith? When would we miss the raka'ah? At which position? Yes, what is the hadith?
Is it when Umar, yeah, Umar radiallahu anhu, he walked, he came into the masjid, everyone was in ruku. He was like away from the lines, went to ruku and walked straight into and joined the congregation. And then the Prophet allowed it. And then afterwards he said you shouldn't do that, but your prayer is valid.
So you know, understand what Brother Nal said, right? So let's say the Imam was in that time was in ruku'. Let's say from the door, right? This person just came in and he saw people doing ruku'. At the door is Allahu Akbar, he do his ruku'. And from there he walked like that to join the congregations, right? Now, Prophet ﷺ did not ask him to repeat the raka'ah. Yeah, that means that it was an indication that ruku' is a position where the raka'ah will be missed. Yeah, okay.
Sorry, I don't know. I had to take a very, very important call. So I just want to ask one question. Have you gone past the part yet where, even if we're in silent prayer, we have to do the Al-Fatiha and you don't have to do the Sunnah or the Have you gone past that part yet? Sorry.
No, not yet.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. It's okay. So, anyway, to answer your questions, right? Especially when, and I think this is have to do with some cultures or some practices, right? When, do not mention any names. But anyway, when Imam is in the Dhuhr prayer, for example, right? Should as a follower, should you do the Al-Fatiha? Yes, of course. Right? So you should do this. Yeah. Now, okay, so let's talk about the Sunnah prayers in general. Yeah. What is the most important Sunnah prayers after the Farad prayers? No, it's not in that hadith. Yes, the Qiyamul Layl, right? That is the most important prayer. Yeah, and to that extent that the Asians or the Hanafis would say that is, well, it's obligatory to do the witr prayer. Yeah, in general, the witr prayer, should it be the last prayer that was done? Sorry. Yes.
One says, yeah, it needs to be your last.
Yes. Yes.
And the second, you said, pray the Isha, and then you want. You can.
You can what?
You can pray, but don't pray the written.
Yeah. So in general, there's only one witr for the night. Yeah. The a better opinion, if you can, of course, is to pray in the last third of the night, right? Because can you imagine where is Allah at the last third of the night? At the lowest heaven, right? Looking at us. What is the hadith? What did Allah say? What would Allah say every night? Yeah, where among my servants who ask for my forgiveness, I'll forgive him. Where among my servants who want to ask me for anything, I'll grant him. And that occurs every night, subhanAllah, right? So we do need to make this effort. But saying all this, of course, we have two amazing Sahaba. Abu Bakr radhiallahu anhu, he was always doing the night prayer before he was sleeping. That means after Isha. Whereas Umar ibn Khattab radhiallahu anhu, he was doing the night prayer always after he slept and he woke up before Fajr. Both of them were equally recommended or commended by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Oh Abu Bakr, you are very cautious, very good, right? Oh Umar, you are very steadfast, very good." So both of them are equally commended, right? And we also must understand that we are living in UK, in which in summer it is quite tricky, isn't it true? When Fajr is about 2:30 or 2:40, and then Isha is about 11 o'clock. By the time you reach home for the mosque, it's about 11:30, 12 o'clock. By the time you're on a TikTok, right? Your TikTok messages, right, Aiman? You are about at 1 o'clock, right? So it's quite very difficult, right? That you have all these well, duties to your subscribers, right? So yes, you can do it before you sleep, yeah, but a better option, if you can, of course, yeah, it is to sleep first. Many scholars say you should sleep first in order to get more reward, because like it or not, Qiyamul Layl, the prayer at night, yeah, it is something that Allah will invite whomever He wills. It's an invitation. It is something in which I myself, alhamdulillah, I was able to do it some nights, but some nights I couldn't do it because I'm a human, right? And this is when you know yourself, when you're able to wake up, you feel special, isn't it true? Everybody is sleeping, but Allah invited you to come and stand in front of Him. And that personal what do you call it, or private moment with Allah is so special. Only those whom Allah invites will be able to do that. Same thing, right? So, for example, even coming to the mosque itself, right? It is an invitation by Allah to come to His house, which is this mosque, for example, right? It's an invitation. So, if you are not in the mosque, for example, surely either you do not want to accept the invitation or you're not invited. As simple as that. Yeah. So do try and as best as you can, yeah, perform the Sunnah prayers, which is the most important one after the Fard prayers, which is your Qiyamul Layl, which is your Tahajjud and Witr prayer. Yeah. So this is one of the prayers that we call it mu'aqadah, which is stressed because of the hadith itself. Yeah. And what is let's talk about this tahajjud and witr prayer. What is the sunnah when we first start to do it? Let's say, okay, I wake up already, right? What do I do now? What do you do, Abdullah? The first thing that you do? Yeah, we don't wake up now. So you take your wudu. Then what do you do? Pray what? Now there is two sunnah prayer before the start of your tahajjud. Right? Is you can see in many of the literatures, right? This is sahih, inshallah, right? So before you start your tahajjud prayer, you do two sunnah prayer. Why? Perhaps you want to thank Allah first, isn't it true? And secondly, you need to warm up, isn't it true? Because you're very groggy and all this, you need to warm up, right? And there is a hikmah behind these two sunnah prayers. Then you start your night prayer. What is the best? How many rak'ah should we do? Tahajjud? Optimum, the best is 8, isn't it true? But if you cannot do, 2 is enough. Agreed? Right, 2 is enough. If you have no time, perhaps Fajr is about 20 minutes time or 10 minutes time, you can do 2 rak'ah of the tahajjud. Asabullah.
Did the Prophet ﷺ pray at one point, for example, he was praying at 8 or 11, to make as like two, so he prayed 5, 6 times the shahud, the extra.
Repeat again, please.
No, is there not the hadith, for example, where the Prophet ﷺ prayed Tahajjud prayer in like two tashahhud, so he didn't have more than yeah.
Oh, you are talking about 4 raka'ah without the first tashahhud. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah.
Right, yeah, it is one of the options,
Okay.
but you do not need to do that. So that means, like your witr prayer, right? Sorry to say this, right? Some of the Asian cultures are doing it wrongly, because many people who do the witr prayer like the Maghrib prayer, and this is wrong, right? The witr prayer must be done in two ways. Either you do 2 raka'ah and say a salam, and then the third one and say another salam, or you do 3 raka'ah like the Maghrib without the first tashahhud. So is it what you're referring to? 4, 4, 3 in that way, in that sense, only with only one tashahhud? Yes, there is another option. Yeah. Yes.
So when you say the minimum for tahajjud is just 2 rakats,
Yes.
that's like identical to fajr then.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And minimum for witr is 1. Yeah. Minimum witr is 1. Yeah. And as I said just now, the qunut dua, even if for the whole year you're not doing qunut dua, your witr is still intact, right? So, but this is the thing in which you do not need, according to many scholars, you do not need to do qunut dua for every witr prayer. Because some scholars advise us to, sometimes you do qunut, sometimes you don't do qunut. My method is always, well, if I only have a few minutes or 10 minutes before Fajr, I don't do the qunut dua. Yeah, yes.
Wasn't the qunut done at the time when 20 Sahaba got assassinated? And then he done the qunut for Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? Sorry, I just wanted to clear that up. I wanted to ask a question.
I'm not sure about this. Yeah, when was this?
So in the Sealed Nectar,
Yes.
there's a part in that that says that the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam done the qunut when the mushrik, who pretended to be Muslim, asked for 20 Sahaba to come and teach the Quran.
Yeah.
They got assassinated
Yeah.
by Quraysh, and then he done qunut. And that was apparently was recorded or something like that. It's in the Sealed Nectar.
Yeah. Just send it to us, inshallah, and share with us.
What was that about?
Yeah, I do not know. I've never heard of this. Yeah.
So the qunut is more like dua, isn't it?
Yeah, so we did in our Devan, Allahumma dina fi man hadais wa afina fi man afais, and all this, right? We did. Alhamdulillah, I think in our Devon retreat, there were about 20 people. Most of them will wake up for tahajjud, alhamdulillah. We woke up at about 2 o'clock. And the tahajjud prayer, okay, just as an additional information, it should be done individually. But we know Prophet Muhammad SAW, in order to teach the people to tahajjud, he did in congregation. So for us, we did in congregation because some people have never done tahajjud before. So that's why we did in congregation, yeah, in order to ensure that people wake up, yeah, for tahajjud. Yeah, for sure, you and I know right now, in our group, if it wasn't done in congregation, nobody will wake up. All right, so alhamdulillah, people did wake up. From I think majority in Devon, about 16, 17 will wake up for tahajjud, alhamdulillah. Yeah. Any questions about your tahajjud prayer? All clear? Are we going to do tahajjud prayer from tonight, inshallah? Iman? Yeah. So it is. Yes, that is optimum. But as I said, none of us are perfect, right? If you have no time, can do 4, can do 2, right? And within either 1 or within 3 rak'ah. Yes. Yes.
If you can do 1 rak'ah with it.
Yes, you can. That's a worst case scenario that you have only like for 5 minutes before Fajr. Yeah, 1 witr, inshallah. Yeah.
You can't make that as a habit.
Sorry?
You can't make that as a habit. So if you have like let's say 15 minutes further,
Yes.
can you still have to do?
It's up to you. Yeah.
So both of it.
Yeah, that was okay, inshallah. Witr means, what does witr means? Odd number, isn't it true? The odd number. So 1, 3, 5. Yeah. The difference, have anybody spent the Ramadan in your Ramadan in Saudi Arabia before? You have, right? Of course, yeah. You know that in the Tarawih prayer, for example, the Qiyamul Lail, right? In Tarawih, the night, the one after the Tarawih prayer, right? The Imam would do long prostrations. Yeah. So this is where you will say whatever things that you wish to say to Allah, right? But I would always remember this: in order to do any dua, we should begin with the correct etiquette. What is etiquette of making dua? First of all, praise Allah first, saying Alhamdulillah. Secondly, saying blessings of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allahumma salli wa sallim ala nabiyyina Muhammad, which we should say today, isn't it true? As a Jumu'ah, yeah. Thirdly, ask Allah for forgiveness. Dua of Yunus alayhi salam. What is it that which surah is this, Ayman? What is the dua? No. Ya, la ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni kuntu minal zalimin. Right? None is right to be worshipped but you. Glorified are you? Surely I'm one of the losers. Right? And after that, then you say the dua according to your own Allah's names, Allah's beautiful name. Yeah, Allah's beautiful name. Ya Allah, Ya Rabb, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, and all this. Yeah, so this is the etiquette of making dua. That is why sometimes in the Imam, when the Imam say the dua qunut, they will say, right, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, Ya Rahman, Rahim, and all this, they will say, right, as part of to say Allah through His beautiful names. Questions regarding this? Yes. Yes, you can pray witr after Isha in case you think that you cannot wake up before Fajr, right? But when you wake up before Fajr, you can wake up for tahajjud, but don't do another witr. Witr is only done once a night, right? So even in your mosque, I don't know whether you're doing in this mosque also, right? When in your Ramadan, yep, one imam may conclude the prayer with a witr, isn't it? Your Tarawih prayer, and then for the last 10 nights, you come back again, correct? So those who are doing the witr in the first part of the Tarawih prayer, you cannot do another witr before Fajr.
But you can come back there.
Yes, you can come back during Tahajjud. Yeah, but according to the Hadith, Prophet Muhammad said, advise us to make witr as the last prayer of the night, if we can. Yeah. Yes, Ayman.
Pray with the Jama'ah, and then after this is Salam. Don't have an extra rak'ah.
You can, yes, which a lot of people are doing, right? So that means but most important thing is what you want to do is your intention. Your intention wasn't to do witr, just a sunnah prayer. So you join the imam. Once the imam conclude, you stand up to do another rak'ah, so to make it a sunnah prayer, even number of prayers. Yeah.
So is there like hadith
Regarding what?
regarding
I think there's a lot of scholars' opinions regarding this, right? That they want to come back again, right? This is for me personally, right? I always like to, finish your congregation of Tarawih prayer at night, right? I always like to do the witr prayer at home alone, because witr for me is very the night prayer, tahajjud, qiyamul layl is always personal. I want to do on my own. I want to do my qunut dua on my own, right? Because I have my own dua. So I do not like to be in a congregation. This is my own personal things. Yeah, but of course you can come to the mosque and do this mosque have the tahajjud prayer at night? They have this Ramadan, alhamdulillah. Yeah. Travel 1 hour and a half hours from my house. Yeah. Alhamdulillah.
If you come to the mosque and you found people praying, saying you missed the patient Jama'ah,
Yes.
that guy in front of you is praying Sunnah.
Yes.
Just stuck in the back and you join him.
Yes.
But he didn't sign up for you to tell him to pray Sunnah. He just, when he finished, continued the power.
Yes.
That is acceptable.
Yes. So that means that what you are trying to say, if the person is praying Sunnah and you just came in and you can just tap the shoulder, your intention is to do obligatory prayers, his intention to do Sunnah. So it's a separate intention is okay.
But if he wants to come, let you know that Sunnah.
No, it shouldn't, because that is one of the hadith, right? Valid hadith that you are doing, that you can have different intention in the prayer. The imam can do sunnah and you can do the fard prayer.
I've seen people then drop their hands down to say,
I think because, sorry to say, they got no knowledge.
don't follow me.
Yeah, because they think that, oh, I'm doing a sunnah prayer, so you shouldn't follow me because you're doing the fard prayer, right? But if you read the proper hadith, there is an example in Prophet Muhammad, somebody was doing this. Yeah?
So it's a permissible.
Yes, it is. Okay. Now let's move on. Yeah. So let's discuss about the prayers before and after the obligatory prayers. Right. Now the muakkadah of this is the 12 rak'ah that was done. What is the hadith? That means if today I do 12, I'll get one house. Correct. Tomorrow I'll do another 12. Another house. So we can start an Airbnb business in Jannah, is it true? Right? To rent out your Airbnb to room to others, inshallah. Yeah. And so what are these 12? Yes. 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 So these are the 12. That doesn't mean there's no other sunnah prayers. A lot of people get confused, right? Because, sorry to say this, the Asian mosques are not doing the sunnah prayers before Maghrib. They might have their own reason, but actually there is a hadith for do sunnah before Maghrib.
I've seen people in Adhan Maghrib, they sunnah, then they do the hillside. After the Adhan, everyone standing there, do sunnah, and then they pray.
Sorry, repeat again?
You know, on the Maghrib, when
Yes.
the Adhan comes,
Yes.
as soon as the Adhan finishes,
Mm-hmm.
before they start the Salah, the congregation,
Yes.
everyone standing for sunnah to watch.
Yes. What's your question? Is it valid?
Is it valid?
Yes, it's valid. We're going to talk about hadith after this.
I've seen some people, they pray sunnah before Asr as well.
Yeah, so I'm going to talk about this later, right? So let's talk about mu'akkadah first. Yes.
There's another one. I don't know. So for witr prayer, I've gone to some masjid.
Are we going to witr prayer again?
Yeah. But
You missed it, isn't it? Okay. Come.
yeah. The way they pray is like, so firstly, they pray as like a Maghrib prayer. And secondly, after they get up from the second rak'ah, and they make the dua.
The qunut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is the prayer still valid, or do you pray shad? So I'll pray by myself.
Yeah, I wouldn't join them. Yeah, I would pray on my own. Yeah, so I have to be careful. Yeah. Now the sunnah prayers. Before I forget, is it a sunnah to do in the mosque or at home? Yes, but why are all the Asian people are praying always in the mosque, whereas the home is quite nearby? Isn't it true in general? Right? It is a sunnah to do at home. Why?
If you leave Salah, you don't pray Salah at home, your home becomes like a graveyard.
Yes, this is the first hadith, right? Secondly, yeah, it's nothing wrong. Of course, I'm not saying it's wrong to pray in the mosque, right? The sunnah. But what is the second hadith? Why you should pray at home?
If they want to watch the World Cup.
No, because to protect yourself from riya, right? To show off. A lot of people in my local mosque, my local mosque is a Bangladeshi mosque, right? They think that I never do any sunnah prayers, and because I just go back home. But actually, it is if you read this authentic hadith, it is a sunnah to do the sunnah prayer at home, isn't it true? Agreed? Okay. Another thing that yes.
Is it okay if someone?
Yeah, yes, it is. But again, okay, so all this context, for example, Brother Muhammad, sometimes your house is quite distracting, right? Children running around, right? Or there's no space. And then perhaps you can pray in the mosque, right? But it is a sunnah. I'm just saying a sunnah to pray. It doesn't mean that you cannot pray in the mosque, the sunnah prayers, right? The second thing that is quite irritating, brothers, is that the Jama'ah has already started. People will go one side to the title masjid and all this, right? The hadith is very clear. Once the obligatory prayer started, there is no more sunnah prayers. Agreed? In fact, if you're in the middle of the sunnah prayers, there are two scenarios. If you're at your second rak'ah, almost finishing, then quickly, when the iqamah started, quickly you finish your sunnah. But if you just started Allahu Akbar and the iqamah started, what must you do? How do you break the prayer? I just leave. You don't need to say, oh, Assalamualaikum, Assalamualaikum. No, there's no hadith getting that, right? So just leave and then join it. Inshallah, you get the reward, isn't it true? What is the hadith? If you intend to do a good deed and you cannot do a good deed, what is the reward? You get the reward of that good deed, inshallah. Yeah. So, but for sure, again, this is my local mosque, right? It's very irritating, right? The Fajr, for example, started, people come in or do a sunnah prayer. Now, if you have not done the sunnah prayers for the Fajr, what must you do? Do it after the obligatory prayer, inshallah. Yeah, so this is important to understand. Yes.
Can you do the same for Tahiyatul Masjid?
In what sense? No, Tahiyatul Masjid, once the prayer started, that's it. There's no more Tahiyatul Masjid. That means you have joined the congregation prayer. There's no more Tahiyatul Masjid. Yeah.
Ustad.
Sorry. Yes.
Can I just pray the
For Fajr, yes, because it's very important for the even Prophet Muhammad has never missed the Sunnah prayer of the Fajr when he was traveling. Yeah. Sorry, there's a question from online. Yes.
Sorry, Ustad.
Go on.
Assalamu alaikum.
No,
I just wanted to ask, in terms of the witr prayer, because some of them say it's wajib, some people
Witr
say
prayer
it's
again. Witr prayer, yes, we discussed before in Hanafi madhab. A lot of people said that is obligatory. Yeah, but we discussed just now, if we have attended our lessons early enough, right? We discussed before that obligatory prayers are only 5, which is your 5 prayers in a day. Yeah, so majority of scholars say the witr is not part of the obligatory prayers of Fard. That means if you miss obligatory, the witr prayer is not a sin. Okay, right? Because your wife is Asian, isn't it true? Right? Okay. Now, yeah. So this is the muaqadah prayers. Any questions about muaqadah prayers? Very straightforward. Yeah. Now, yes, muaqadah prayers, right? Questions? Yes. Yeah, he has his own special things, right? We're going to talk about it now. Right? Yes.
Are there 10 sunnah prayers a day for the
Shafi.
10. 2 before the prayer.
Yeah, some of them I know there's a hadith saying that 2 sunnah prayer before dhuhr. Yeah, but according to the hadith getting mu'aqada, it is 12, so 4 before dhuhr.
We listen to that was 10.
I would follow the most correct opinions of the majority of scholars, which is 12. Yeah, but yeah, so we're going to discuss other things, right? So let's talk about the Fajr prayers. Yeah, it's so important, brothers, that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. So, okay, so when you travel overseas or travel to Manchester, right, after traveling a certain distance, right? So it is a sunnah to shorten your prayers, right? Correct. Do you do your sunnah prayers? No. But if you have always continued, you have always done your sunnah prayers here in London, you would be rewarded automatically. Yeah. Except for the sunnah of the Fajr. What is the reward of, what is the sunnah Fajr, the reward if you missed it?
If you missed it,
Yes.
I know the sunnah you do it.
Yeah, what was it we do it?
It's worth more than the world.
Yes, yes, yes. It's more. So it's a lot of reward for that, right? And there's a difference between that sunnah prayers and all the other sunnah prayers. What is the difference? Besides that, your actions.
You pray it when you travel.
And no, but what I was trying to say is the timing, in the sense that it's supposed to do quite fast compared to the other prayers, right? When I say fast, brothers, it doesn't mean that you will break the, no, I mean that your bone must be still, right? So yeah, so you still need to be fulfilling the pillars of the prayer. Yeah. So hold on. So it need to be quite fast compared to any other sunnah prayers. So you don't do long sujood, right? You don't recite Al-Baqarah, right? What is the sunnah for the Fajr prayer? Al-Kafirun and Al-Ikhlas, right? Is the sunnah. Your questions? Yeah. So this is the specialty. So do not miss, even though when you are waking up late, when the sun has risen, right? We know Prophet Muhammad will also do the sunnah prayers after the obligatory prayers. The obligatory prayers must always come first. For the Fajr only, yes. Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah, so it is important, yeah, that we try to do as best as we can. Yeah, the muaqadah, this 12, especially the Fajr prayer. Muhammad, questions?
Yes, Sheikh. So after Fajr, we finish up. After not it is forbidden when the sun has been very because that's the time when
Yes.
the shaitan.
Yes. So when we talk about these forbidden times to pray, what are the 3 forbidden times to pray? Yes. Zawal means midday, isn't it true? Right? Yes. Yeah, midday, and then after Fajr, and after Asar. So what do you mean by you are forbidden to do sunnah prayers? Now this is a matter of contention, but a lot of scholars agree on one thing. So if I were to come to the mosque after Asar, right? I haven't prayed my Asar yet. Can I pray my Tahiyatul Masjid? Yes, go to many opinions. They say you can do Tahiyatul Masjid. What is meant as forbidden are the sunnah prayers that has no reason. I just want to do sunnah prayers. Then that is not allowed. Yeah, if I want to do, I have done my wudu. Is there sunnah prayers after wudu?
Yes.
Can you do it?
Yes.
Yes, because there's a reason to do it. It's not any random sunnah prayers. Yeah, so this is what we meant by forbidden to do prayers, right? And of course, if you woke up and then the sun it's just rising, should you do your Fajr prayer? Let's say I haven't done my Fajr prayer. Sunrise is at 6 o'clock. I woke up just 5:59. Should I rush to do the Fajr prayer? What do you think? Yes, according to the majority of the scholars, you must, because the obligatory that you're missing supersedes everything, right? I know there's an opinion that you must wait for the sun to rise, but majority of the valid opinions is that you do it immediately, because this is the obligatory prayer. You don't want to wait any longer. Why do you want to wait for a longer? Because the longer you wait, the more you're sinning, isn't it true? Right? So you should do the Fajr prayer that you are missing, even though the sun is rising. Yes.
I was told that if your head hits the ground in the group, then it suffices. As long as you made it just before Isha. Is that correct? Sorry.
No, according to majority of opinions, I say that there are 2 opinions, right? For what I know, what Sheikh, what's his name? The one with the long beard, Ahsan, Al-Hakim, right? Right? He's also said in the opinion, it's very, alhamdulillah, he's very good. He himself said, right? Do it immediately. You don't have to wait until the sun rises and you do it later. Yeah? Fajr prayer first. Yes, yes.
Sheikh, the sun has risen.
What do you mean?
Fajr. For example, the sun has risen.
You must pray. No matter how many, let's say you wake up at 7 o'clock. You must pray your Fajr. You must.
You can't delay it.
You can't delay it any longer because we are humans, right? We are not perfect. Yes.
One brother was asking the other day that
Is it Abdul Aziz? You keep on saying it. Is this another brother asking me? Is that what Aziz?
He was asking if he goes to Fajr, if he does the two Sunnah before Fajr, does that also count as the two Sunnah thing? Or does that just count?
Yeah, so it's a good question, right? Can you combine two intentions in a prayer? Yes, Abdullah.
If it's a sunnah prayer, you can combine for fasting Thursdays and Monday. No, Thursdays and for example,
Arafah.
yeah. You could combine, for example, if it comes on Monday, you could you would have the intention of basically fasting for both. So you will get the reward of fasting.
What do you think, Iman?
I would from that.
Yes. I think there's two named Sunnah.
Yeah, I think you cannot combine two intentions, right? So let's say, right, I come to the mosque, I haven't done any sunnah prayers, and it's Fajr time. Which one do you choose? What do you think?
It's Fajr time, you pray Fajr, and then you do the
What do you think, Abdullah? No, I know, but let's say I have time to only perform one sunnah prayers, as in one set of sunnah prayers. Would I do the sunnah prayers of the Fajr, or what are those sunnah prayers of the Tahiyatul Masjid? What do you think? Sorry, what is the name? Ayman. Ayman, same. Moroccan. You got, oh, you got brother-in-law. Subhanallah, I didn't know this. Okay.
He's waiting to see the other Ayman in Baker Street. I told him a lot about
Oh yeah. That's a disaster about to happen with the three Aymans who to meet. Do you agree?
It's a good one. Are they all mountain people?
So, that's it.
It's a good one. Good Ayman.
Oh, this one? No. This one? I didn't say that, right? He said that. What do you think, Ayman? Yeah, so let's say I come to the mosque, right? I have time to do only 2 rak'ah. What would you choose? Yeah, Fajr.
For everything in the world.
Yeah.
I would choose Tahiyyat Masjid because the Fajr and Sunnah you can do it after.
Yeah, I would choose the Tahiyatul Masjid because the Sunnah of the, it's just an opinion, of course. I'm sure there's two opinions, isn't it true, right? Because as you say, the Sunnah of the Fajr can always do after that, but Sunnah Tahiyatul Masjid can do after the obligatory prayers. Yeah. Yes.
So if you pray after, it's even more than
Yes, I'm sure. I mean, I'm a human too, right? Sometimes I'm late. I got no time to do at home. After the obligatory prayers in the mosque, I'll just go to the side to the sunnah prayers. It is allowed.
But
Yes.
Sheikh, isn't it first? Isn't it before like surah first or sunnah and then surah first?
Sorry.
For Fajr.
Yes.
So how can you?
It is, but so for example, right, Brother Muhammad. So I know that, and that's why I said there are two opinions, right? This is a preference of some people, right? So that's so for example, if I have no time to do the 4 rak'ah before Dhuhr, can I do after Dhuhr?
Yeah.
You can. You can. This is according to many opinions. Yeah. So that's why I said, because yes, of course, we're talking about this, the relative importance, the Tahiyatul Masjid and Sunnah of the Fajr. It seems that the Sunnah Fajr, it is more important, isn't it true? Right? It is more important, but we can do Sunnah of the Fajr after the obligatory prayers, according to many opinions. Yeah, but at the same time, I do not want to miss the Tahiyatul Masjid because not only that. No, because I want to thank Allah, isn't it true? Why do you do Tahiyatul Masjid? Why do you do Tahiyatul Masjid? Besides the Sunnah. Yeah, to thank Allah, isn't it true? Right? Because like it or not, some days we couldn't make it to the mosque, isn't it true? because we are humans. But when we come to the mosque, subhanAllah, you need to thank Allah. That is my reason why I want to do Tahiyatul Masjid. Yes,
You don't hold the prayer again.
Sorry?
During the intention.
I don't, yes.
Oh, you don't hold.
We don't, usually, yes.
You know, when you're talking about doing the Sunnah after, this is just on the odd occasion. It's not something you.
Yeah, it's not every time you are doing after. It's very odd occasions when you are late.
Are we allowed to pray inside church or?
It depends on what is inside the church, because many of the churches, you know, they bury people below there, isn't it true? There's cemetery. Yeah. There's quite a lot. I mean, you would know, right?
Hagia Sophia,
Yes.
Hagia Sophia, that
Yes.
used to be a church.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. As long as nothing is buried underneath, and you remove all the signs of the crosses and all this, you can pray anywhere. Yeah.
Why did they bury them?
Ask him.
Because they see them as
Yeah.
a great person.
I think just to remember the deceased, that they buried people in the church. Are there some mosques who bury your imams in the mosque? Pakistan, I mean some parts of Malaysia, Indonesia, they do this. Abdul Aziz?
The question I have is the place that we pray is not a officially mosque.
Yes.
Can you still pray Tahiyatul Masjid or?
Okay, good question, right? If I were to pray in a hospital, right, or in your school, is it a mosque? So do we need to do a Tahiyatul Masjid? No. Yes. It's just because of musalla, right? Place to pray, to do a prayer. Yes, go.
If you come into the masjid, you don't have wudu, so you do your wudu. Then do you do?
Yeah, so I will do Tahiyatul Masjid. I will do another 2 for the wudu. I will do 2 for or 4 for the whole. Depends on what prayer I'm doing. So different. Yeah. So I don't combine.
I wanted to ask as well. So a lot of people, when they don't do the 2 for before Fajr, they miss it. So they do it afterwards.
Yes.
But do you have to do this? Because it makes it look like it's another fard prayer, which isn't right, isn't it?
Yeah, but again, as we discussed before, what is the hadith of the 2 sunnah prayers before Fajr? What is the hadith if you do it? Yeah, is the importance it covers as if the importance of the dunya. That means it's very, very important. So that is why, but as Nal said, right? It's not Gawal, it's not common, it's not you deliberately do all the time. It's once in a while, once in a month, once in 2 months that you do it after Fajr, isn't it true? That perhaps due to you wake up late and all this. It's not all the time. Yeah, so it is that important. That is why some people put it in a very, very important state that you are, when you're traveling, you still do the 2 sunnah of the Fajr. Okay? Yes.
So Turkey, we have a hope, which is not officially a mosque. So for example, if you go there.
Okay, so before you continue, what do you classify as a mosque? What is the criteria? Yes, but more important than that? More important than that? Even more important than that is a waqf land. That means nobody owns it. It's quite important. Yeah, so if somebody owns it, there's not a mosque, right? It's waqf land. Secondly, sorry.
Charity center is not a masjid, is it?
No, it's not.
Or an Islamic center.
Yes, so it's a waqf land. Nobody owns it. Secondly, you must perform 5 obligatory prayers with adhan and iqamah and all this. That becomes a mosque. So, other than that, then it's just a musalla.
This situation is not, doesn't meet any.
Mm-hmm.
So if I come in Friday prayer,
Yes.
would I still?
Okay, this is a very good point, right? And forgive me if I say anything wrong. This is the opinion of the scholars, right? Brothers, unless you are working in a hospital, you shouldn't go to the hospital for your Jummah prayer. You should always go to the mosque. Unless you are working in or studying in the university, You shouldn't go to the university just because the lecture is the khutbah is very good. You should go to the proper mosque to get the reward of the Jumu'ah prayers. And this is the opinion of many scholars regarding this. So you just cannot pick and choose, this is near my house, or this is amazing scholars is there. No, you go according to the criteria of a mosque. Do you agree with this? It's very important to understand this. Yeah.
In the hospital, you know, chocolate, which people don't form Sunnah.
Yeah.
But then the other side of the course, we use it as a chat as well.
Sorry?
In the hospital,
Yes.
but it's a room or a place.
Yeah.
They use as a prayer place.
Yes.
And the chapel, they have false hanging.
Yeah. They shouldn't. You should just cover up. But in places where we call it darurat, right? You should cover up the cross and all this. Yeah. In the hospitals, you have to be careful with this.
So in this case, it would be better to pray in the mosque.
Always in the mosque. Yeah, it's very important. Yeah, I know I know some scholars say that it is darurat again, right? Is the emergency situation where there's limited places to pray. People pray in these meet-up tents and all this. But unless there's no mosque nearby and there's the only option, then perhaps you can do that. But there's a mosque nearby, mosque must be taken priority, inshallah. Yes, Mohammed?
Sorry, brother. Sorry, it's just 1 hour for istijaba.
Yes.
It's 1 hour.
Oh, just for remind us, yeah?
Do we have a specific prayer for it?
For this on Friday,
Saturday.
no, there's no specific dua. But we just need to do the etiquette of making dua. Then whatever you dua that you want to make, inshallah. Yes.
What would you say about, you know how there's like 2 Jummah in the Muslim sometimes? Would you say it's better to go to a first Jummah at a hall?
Yes. So a lot of scholars they don't like this situation where you have 3 or 4 Jum'ah in the mosque, right?
The mosque is too small.
I know, but a lot of scholars they don't like this, right? Because usually, where I come from, Singapore, Indonesia, we don't have all this. I know there's a lot of mosques there, right? But that means if there's a place with a few, it's better for you to go to the first one, which is the most congregation.
Is it permissible in Islam? Because other countries have never seen it.
Yeah, I've never seen this. That's scholars they don't. Some scholars they don't agree with this. Yeah. But again, we talk about darurat, right? That means it's until inshallah in the future. But I would not do that.
There's no hadith that was called.
It's just a scholar's opinion, yes, about this. Right? So yes.
The question was, is it better to go to the hall and meet the first Jummah, or go to the masjid?
No, always go to the mosque.
Even the second Jummah?
Always. No, first Jummah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Let's say the first Jummah is full. Will you go to the hall for that first Jummah, or will you stay for second?
I would say second Jummah. Yeah, the mosque always take priority. Yep. Can we move on? Because it's already 8:30, right? So if I can't finish this, we can continue next week, inshallah. Yeah. Other things that so we talk about 12 sunnah prayers for mu'akkadah. That doesn't mean that there's no other sunnah prayers, right? And I'm going to explain to you about what you said just now. Yeah. First of all, there is always a hadith which stated that there is always a sunnah between adhan and iqamah. Right? That means in Maghrib, is there adhan and iqamah? Yes. So there's always a sunnah prayer, right? But this is not stress. This is ghayra mu'akkadah. That means sometimes you do, sometimes you don't do it. But there is a sunnah prayer, right? Secondly, in terms of the asar prayer, 2 or 4 before asar. What is the hadith?
4 before Asr. May Allah's mercy be on the people.
Yes, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam made the dua. May Allah have mercy on us who do 4 before asar. All right. So, based on this hadith, right, you can do the 4 rak'ah before asar, inshallah. Yeah. What about the dhuhr prayer? The sunnah prayers before and after dhuhr. What is the best rak'ah? 4 before and
4.
yeah. So 4 before and 4 after. When I said 4 before, in general, most scholars agree that you do break up into 2 and 2. That means two, you say salam and stand up another two. Yes, brother.
I have a question because now you're saying you have to go to the mosque for Jummah.
Yes.
Over like a prayer. I ask you, what if the khutbah was in a different language in the mosque, so you choose to so actually?
It is a tricky situation, I understand, right? Based on the scholarly opinion, it is still better to go to the mosque.
Even if you know,
Yes, it is better to go to the mosque, right? So I'm just telling about the scholars' opinion regarding this, because mosque is a mosque, musalla is a musalla. Yeah. So is it 4 before the Dhuhr and 4 after the Dhuhr, or 4 and 2? Which one? What is the hadith of 4 and 4? Yes. Because of this hadith, Prophet Muhammad said, if you do 4 before the Dhuhr and 4 after the Dhuhr, you'll be protected from hellfire. On that basis, right, I will do 4 before and 4 after, because it's an authentic hadith. Yes.
But that's sort of a non-mu'akkada.
Yes, it's not muakkada, but it is a valid, it is sahih.
No, sure, but
Yeah.
because he did it here and there.
Yeah, yes.
So I just wanted to ask one more question.
Yes.
The brother made a good point. Going back to Wakaf.
Yes.
Question. So you said that if it's owned and they pray the 5-day prayers and the Jummah, then it's seen as a masjid, sir.
Yes.
This place owns it. They actually have the rights to this place. So
Yeah.
does that make it more of a masjid than another place that's renting it?
It's not owned by one person.
Who owns this place?
No, they have people who.
Sure.
Yeah, but they do allow people to come in at any time, is it true? There's no restrictions in all
It's
this.
not rented, it's actually owned by.
Yes.
And they, yeah.
It's not privately owned by. No, this is not privately owned, but they have. I don't know how to say it. There's a name for it. Something with someone who has the responsibility.
Trustees.
Yes, the
Yeah,
trustees. Exactly.
that's what I'm saying. It's they own it, but it's the trustees that manage it. That makes
Yes,
sense.
yes.
So whereas another masjid, I don't want to say names, just went out, they rent it. So anytime you go, the landlord may want it back. Because you know when you give that 3 months notice period, especially in corporate rented
Yes.
environments.
Yes.
Where would that fall under then?
That's very tricky, because then it may not meet the criteria of waqf land, isn't it true? Right? Let me find out for you because of time constraint, and I'll let you know.
Sorry,
Inshallah.
I just.
It is. It's very important to understand what is the mosque. Yeah. So these are the sunnah prayers that we should do before and after the obligatory prayers. All right. Questions? Okay. There are other sunnah prayers in which we haven't covered yet, like your duha prayer. It is important to your duha prayer.
Yes.
Yes. It is not under the stress muakkada, but we should do it. What is the hadith about duha? There are 3 kinds of duha. The first one is called ishraq in the morning, in which you are doing it. There is a criteria that for the brothers, you must do it in the mosque, fajr prayer in the mosque. You must stay in the mosque and do adhkar or recite the Quran until 10 minutes or 15 minutes after sunrise. Then you do the ishraq prayer. What is the reward? Hajj or Umrah, isn't it true? Yes, Iman.
What if they close the masjid?
Then to bed. You have not met the criteria, but inshallah you have the intention to do it. All right. So this is the ishraq prayers. Yes, you know, right? Yes.
You when you wake up again after Fajr, you sleep, you wake up again before. So
After Fajr, you don't sleep, right?
no. After Fajr, I sleep and I wake up a couple hours later or in the morning.
Okay, that is another kind of duha called a duha prayer on its own, right? So that is when the sun is 1/6 after rising until about maybe 12 o'clock, right? And that is called a normal duha prayer. What is the hadith, Osama? Yep. Witr. But what is the hadith about the excellence of it?
When you say duha, all your joints prostrate to Allah.
Yes, equivalent to that. Yeah, glorifying Allah. Yeah. So this is a duha prayer. And the last part, if you have no time, is called awabin. Awabin is similar to duha, but just it's a bit late. Yeah, after 12 o'clock and all this.
I thought the middle one has another reward because they all have the reward of your joint.
Yes.
Praying to Allah. The first one has a Hajj and Umrah. I thought the second one was a bit more than the last one. Like there's another.
A little bit, yes, but it's not specifically how much is it. Yeah.
It's just better.
You saw?
There's 360 bones and joints.
Yes.
One of them gives praise and thanks to Allah.
Yes.
That's why we do duha.
You have to cover all these glorifications and thanks to Allah. Yeah. So this is the duha prayer, right? So other sunnah prayers includes salah kusuf. What is kusuf? Kusuf. Eclipse, right? The annoying thing in the West, when they look at eclipse, what do? Oh, they shake, they clap their hands, they take pictures and all this.
They bring champagne.
Yes, right? They gather together, they bring champagne, they drink and all this. The importance of eclipse, brothers, it is to remind ourselves of the day of judgment, as simple as that. Prophet Muhammad SAW used to rush home, right? Rush home in order to be fearful, and then after that perform this thing called kusuf prayer. I gather everybody in the mosque, and it's a bit different prayer because it has two ruku', and then after that there's a khutbah to remind them about the day of judgment and all this, right? It is a sunnah, and also you can also donate money to charity. Yes.
Regarding the gravitational force of the Earth, some say that it is possible for the sun to pass from the west.
Yes, because of I think Mars.
Sometimes it changes.
Yes, because I think these some planets are doing that now. According to some of these, I just look according to my Facebook. The polarities. Yes. Of course, yeah, you have to be very fearful of it. Yes, Abdul Aziz.
Yeah, I've seen some places where I lived in places where they said Quran, and when the moon keeps happening, and they go outside and start reading certain verses in congregation.
Is it his culture?
No,
No, that's not a sunnah. Now I won't say who. Him. Right. No, it's not. That's not how it is, right? Salah khusuf is very simple, right? You gather everybody in the mosque, right? And then just pray 2 rak'ah with a different, as I said, 2 ruku', and then do the khutbah.
I remember in Saudi Arabia as well, they would read it loudspeakers. They would, whenever there was an eclipse.
I think just to remind them, but that, as far as I know, there's not in the hadith.
All of them would start reciting it.
To do what?
So in prayers, salah.
Okay, it's not I've never come across in any hadith regarding that. Perhaps you can share with us, inshallah, if you can find the hadith. Yeah.
Probably send short.
Yeah. No, it must be hadith with the not the Sani. It must be from Muslim, Bukhari, Ahmad, and all this, right?
What I saw in Saudi Arabia, that's the only.
I don't know, but you need to. Then don't send me anything. But it must have evidence. Yusuf.
In Sahih Bukhari, when Rasulullah had his son Ibrahim.
Yes.
And from Maryam.
Yes.
The slave from the king of Misr when he sent the Risala.
Yes.
As a present.
Yes.
Exchange in a polite way. The son unfortunately died.
Mm-hmm.
And the people start saying that the eclipse and the moon.
Yes, it's connected.
And he said no. He said Allah doesn't send this and that
Yes.
together. But no Anbiya.
Yes.
He said this is the will of Allah.
Yes.
And this is to say we should fear Allah.
Yes.
And thank
Yeah.
Him. And that's what we do.
Yeah, and I think it's especially with the khutbah, right? It's more to remind each other about their judgment is coming. It's very important to have this thing. Do you guys have in this mosque? Yeah. Salat kusuf. Do you organize things here?
We haven't done one here yet.
You should, right?
When was the last eclipse? I don't even know.
That was back in 20.
Brothers, there's eclipse all the time, right? More, especially the lunar eclipses all the time.
We did it in Al-Qalam, but I don't know if they have seen it.
Yeah, you should organize something and we got all those reward each other because they remind each other about the hereafter. Yes.
Have to be seen.
Yes, you miss him. Yes.
There's a lot of time they do about seeing that.
Yes, but in general, Ayman, in UK, it's quite cloudy, it's neutral. It's difficult. Whereas in the Saudi Arabia is very easy to see, right? So again, it depends on different opinion about this. You're right, you need to be seen, but it's difficult in this country to see with the clouds. Yeah, brothers, what are the prayers that we have missed? The Eid prayer. Eid prayer is it the muakkada? Yes, it is a stress sunnah. We should do it as we can. Where should we do the Eid prayer? Outside. It is a sunnah to do it in an open field, right? And it is important to follow sunnah because when you in open field, what happened? Everybody should attend, including women with menstruation, all should attend, right? So that it shows the power of the Muslim Ummah, right? So we should, especially now, Eid is in spring and summer, right? So we should do it, inshallah.
Yes, we did not eat prayer, but just done once, but in the Masjid we got 5.
Yeah, yeah. I would always choose to go to the mosque. No matter how amazing you are loyal to any mosque, you should try to do sunnah, inshallah. Yes, Abdul Aziz. Abdul Aziz, yes.
What if such a person misses Eid?
Sorry?
What if such a person misses Eid?
Certain, sorry?
A person misses Eid.
Yes.
What if they miss?
It's a sunnah, so there's no punishment, right? It's a sunnah mu'akkad, it's a stress sunnah. Yeah? Yes.
What about janaza?
Yes. Okay, the janazah is a sunnah. Yes, so it is a fardu. Yeah, fardu kifaya, a community obligation. As long as community is doing it, if you're busy not doing it, it's okay. You're not. Yeah. So, but if nobody is doing it, the whole everybody is sinning. This janazah prayer. Yeah. And as you know, if you go especially to Mecca, Medina, yeah, after every obligatory prayer, there's always a janazah prayer. Yeah, it is important. What is the reward of janazah prayer? Mountain of Uhud. Uhud is not the mountain that you climb up, you know. The whole behind the big Uhud, there is the whole Uhud. Yeah. And if you follow the janazah to the to be buried, you have another Uhud. Yeah. Questions? Is it? Are we clear about the sunnah for us? Yes.
Have you gone through istikhara?
No. Yeah. Istikhara. Right. What is istikhara? How do you do istikhara?
Asking for advice.
Yeah, asking for Allah's counsel. You do 2 raka'ah and then just take out your list and just you can read from the book and all this and this thing. Sorry? After. So you say your salam first, then you say your dua. Yeah, it is. Is it important, istikhara?
Yes.
Yes. Whether you want to get a new job, whether you want to go to another country, whether you want to marry 3 wives, right, Abdullah? Yeah, but not small things, right? Just but things that you think you need requires Allah's counsel. Yeah. So this is istikhara. Any more things that we have missed? Yeah, so you need to do at least 2 or 3 times, at least, yeah, for the istikhara. Yeah, and brothers, the signs of Allah sometimes is so clear, but if you refuse to accept this, it's to your own peril, right? You will see it, inshallah, right? And you cannot say this sign as a coincidence. It is what you ask for, and Allah will give you the sign, inshallah. So what's your name? Mahmoud.
How is he shuruk on the timetable? I don't know what it is.
Shuruh.
Yeah.
It's Ishraq, yeah?
Oh, it's Ishraq, okay.
Yeah, it's a sunrise. Shuruq is a sunrise, right?
Yeah.
Right, so 4th December is a sunrise. Yeah.
Your Albanian student, favorite one, is asking, when you do the Sunnah Salah, do you do them in 2s or do you do it straight 4?
For which one?
Let's say, look, I don't want to tell him much because he's listening. So.
Yeah, so we discussed before, right? In any Sunnah prayers, you should always do 2, 2, 2, whatever it is. Except for your tahajjud prayer, you can do 4 with 1 tashahud. Okay? Last question? Yes.
What if you do
Sorry, what's his name again? Muhammad, yes.
What if you do a mistake in the Sunnah prayer? Do you do
As in you forgetfuls. Yes, of course. Yes. If you forget how many rak'ah and all this, yeah, you still do it before you say salam. Yeah. Sujud sahw, is it?
Yes.
Sujud sahw, yeah. Yes. Last question. Is it important? Do you benefit from this? Yeah, I know there's a lot of things. If you have any questions, do ask me. Yeah, at the next lesson or even on the WhatsApp, and I'll gladly answer you. Right. So may Allah Subhanahu wa Taala increase our understanding of the Sunnah prayers. May Allah Subhanahu wa Taala guide all of us to do more Sunnah prayers. May Allah Subhanahu wa Taala forgive us our sins and shortcomings. May Allah Subhanahu wa Taala improve our akhlaq, our deen. Yeah, so that all of us are able to enter Jannatul Firdaus. Subhanaka wa bihamdika la ilaha illa anta wa astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun mursalin walhamdulillahi alamin. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Jazakumullah khair. We see each other tomorrow, inshallah, if you're free, yeah, for the topic of Hijrah of the Heart. Yeah, so you can join us at the Central Mosque, London Central Mosque, at about 3 o'clock, inshallah. 3 o'clock in the room number 2, inshallah. Yeah, Jazakumullah khair.